Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope your day's going good. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look at F124. When I get at a new F1 game, I like to go through all of the cars and compare them to each other. That's one of the cool things about the F1 games, is that all the cars drive different. So we'll jump in and get started. The order that I'm going to drive the cars in is the order that they are currently in the Constructors' Championship. So the first team we'll be trying is Kick Sauber. One thing I will say about F124 is I wish in this menu they would allow you to spin the car around and look at it. That'd be really cool. So I think for this we're going to go to Canada. It's a pretty cool track. I know it pretty good, so we'll try it out. It should be pretty fair. There's a good mix of medium speed, high speed, and slow speed turns, as well as some good straights. So to keep it this fair, we'll just use the stock setup that the game comes with. So for my assist, I have steering assist off, brake assist off, anti-lock brakes off, traction control off, dynamic racing line full, automatic gearbox, and everything else there, ERS, DRS, pit release, pit assist off. But without further ado, let's head out onto the track and see how this car drives. So compared to last year's Sauber, this one feels a lot more stable. Last year's, I felt like it was very loose in the rear, so I'm liking this. Got in there too deep, but I find it hard if you go too slow on entry. I like to cut the chicane. Struggling a little with rear traction coming out of there. In the previous games, I've always felt like there was a traction limit out of that turn, but I wasn't feeling it in this game. And across the line with it. So yeah, we did a 112.154 in the Kick Sauber. So the first thing I noticed in the Alpine is the engine sound. It doesn't sound as high pitched as the Ferrari and the Kick Sauber. Took too much curb there. So far, the Alpine's feeling very balanced. It just feels kind of sluggish though, a little heavy and sluggish to respond, but very balanced and stable. I would say a little more rear traction than the Kick Sauber. Got in deep there. Another thing I'm noticing is it doesn't feel like it wants to slow down too good. I don't know if that's the brakes or the drag coefficient. That was on the edge right there. So the Alpine did a 112.298. So the Williams is running a Mercedes power unit, and it definitely sounds different than the Alpine and the Ferrari. It sounds more like the Alpine. There's not much difference in between the sound. It may be like the turbo sound. Yeah, so it feels very balanced like the Alpine, but it feels lighter weight, so it's more nimble and agile. I don't think it's as agile as the Sauber was, but the Sauber felt more rear limited traction in slower speed turns than this. Yeah, I would say the Williams, it drives really nice. It takes the best of the Sauber and the best of the Alpine and puts them together. It's agile, almost as agile as the Sauber and as balanced as the Alpine. So it's really nice to drive. Best one so far. Yeah, so the Williams did a 111.710. So the first thing I'm noticing is that the Haas feels a lot more pointy than any of the cars I've driven. So what I mean by that is, like, when you turn into a turn, it actually turns, it doesn't push too much. And right through there, it rotated really nicely. And into the wall of champions. That proves it. I must be a champion. Feeling a little rear limited right there out of that turn. Not as bad as the Sauber, but kind of close to it. So yeah, the Haas is, I would say it's my favorite. I like how pointy the front end is on it, and the rear limited traction out of the slow speed turns is not bad. Yeah, it's my favorite. I would have to choose this one so far. Yeah, so the Haas did a 111.563. First thing I'm noticing is the RB Powertrains power unit. I think that might be the best sounding one in my opinion. It sounds a lot clearer than the others to me. First impressions of the RB is it's very confidence inspiring. It's really easy to drive. But that doesn't mean it'll be the fastest. Usually a easy to drive car isn't the quickest. Kind of felt a little limited on the rear coming out of that turn. Yeah, so far, I think I would recommend this one to a beginner or someone new to the F1 series. It's very easy to drive, and I think you would have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, so the RB did 111.488. So the Aston's kind of feeling like the RB a little. It just feels more on the edge, like at any moment the rear end could like snap on you. But it feels really quick. Great run through there. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little deep. Hits the wall. So yeah, the Aston's feeling really quick. It's just like on the edge though. It gives me the feeling of like you never know when it'll just let go and you'll be in the wall. Yeah, so the Aston Martin did a 111.189. first impressions, it's kind of a handful to drive. Yeah, honestly, first impressions, this might be the worst driving car on here yet. I think it's feeling kind of like the Alpine, like it's just heavy, sluggish, slow to respond, but it doesn't feel as balanced as the Alpine. Also, I'm noticing the brakes don't feel good on it. Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna drive this car, you need to back up corner entry. Yeah, so overall, I would say if you want to drive the Mercedes, it takes a different driving style compared to all of the other cars that I've driven so far. Honestly, it's probably my least favorite to drive, which is surprising cause usually I like the Mercedes. Yeah, so the Mercedes did a 111.468. So the first thing I notice is it feels a little loose in the rear through the medium speed turns. It also feels like it kind of wants to push a little. Yeah, overall the McLaren seemed to tend to want to push, but there was moments when it lost the rear too. So I don't know if it's like a chassis problem or what. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy driving it too much, actually. Yeah, so the McLaren did a 111.414. Yeah, the Ferrari feels very nimble. It doesn't feel as pointy as the Haas, or as on edge as the Aston, but it's pretty nice. So yeah, the Ferrari is very balanced and nimble. It's very fun to drive, easy to drive, I would say. Not as easy as the RB, but is quicker. Yeah, so the Ferrari did a 111.288. So first impressions, it's driving very similar to the RB. It feels very point and shoot, like you point it somewhere and it goes. Yeah, you definitely want to back up corner entry with this car. Overall, the Red Bull drives quite similar to the RB. It's very balanced. It tends to push a little bit, but the rear end is very stable. Kind of sluggish feeling though, but that's probably coming from the pushing. Yeah, so the Red Bull did a 111.415. So there you have it. In my opinion, the best car is the Aston Martin. It was the fastest for me, and in my opinion, it's the best, but you gotta keep in mind, it's also the one that's on the edge most. It feels like at any moment the rear might step out, and that would be the end of it. If you're new to an F1 game, or new to racing games in general, I would recommend the RB. It's just the most balanced feeling and easiest to drive. The Haas was also really nice to drive. It was very pointy, just kind of sluggish, but very pointy and went where you put it. My least favorite would either be the McLaren or the Mercedes. Both of them felt unpredictable to me, and the Mercedes felt heavier than the McLaren, but they were quite similar actually. So up on the screen I'll put the lap times I achieved with every car so you can see how they did for me. That's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, Don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video. It would also be helpful if you could leave a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't. Feel free to leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on the video. Also, if you've played F124, leave a comment telling me your thoughts on the cars and how they drive. So thanks for watching the video and have a wonderful day.